Hi, both. Thanks for joining us today on our Business Gurus channel, where we will be discussing key business topics to help students grasp the most important elements of their course in preparation for their exams and future career. Let's get started.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Let's do it.
Today, we're plunging into uh, a really fundamental tool for getting at what people actually think and feel, the focus group.
Yeah.
And, this isn't just some abstract thing professors talk about. It's a core method, really, that shapes so much of what we see and buy, the experiences we have.
Absolutely. Every single day.
So our mission for this deep dive is simple. Let's get a really clear handle on what focus groups are, where they fit in the bigger research picture, and maybe most importantly, why knowing about them is actually super valuable for you.
Right.
Whether you're a consumer looking at a new product, or maybe an innovator thinking up the next big thing, or honestly just curious about how decisions get made out there.
It gives you an edge understanding this stuff.
Exactly. It's like a shortcut to being well-informed.
Hmm.
Now, to guide us, we're using insights from a really great piece called Primary Research Methods, focusgroups.pdfe.
Yeah, it's concise, but it packs a punch. Lots of key ideas in there.
Totally. So we're going to unpack those, connect the dots, and, well, have a bit of fun exploring it for you. So yeah, let's jump right in.
Okay.
The paper kicks off with a really clear definition. It describes a focus group as a group of people who are asked about their views, opinions, beliefs, and attitudes towards a product, service, advertisement, or idea.
Mm-hmm. Pretty straightforward on the surface.
Right, but I think, a lot of us might just picture a quick survey or something, but this asking, it's not just ticking boxes, is it?
No, not at all. It's really about a dynamic conversation. It's a genuine discussion designed specifically to get those rich, qualitative insights.
Yeah.
The subjective human stuff.
Okay, so give me an example, like trying new chips.
Yeah, perfect example. It's not just, do you like it? Yes, no. It's, why do you love that crunch? What does the taste remind you of? How does eating it make you feel?
Ah, okay. Or maybe like discussing a movie trailer.
Exactly. What emotions did it stir up?
Yeah.
Which specific bits grabbed you? And crucially, does that make you actually want to go see the film? That's the kind of deeper, nuanced understanding we're aiming for.
Got it. So it's about the why and the how.
Precisely. And what makes this so powerful, as the source points out, is that specific range.
Mm-hmm.
Views, opinions, beliefs, and attitudes. It's designed to go way beyond just surface feedback.
Right.
It's engineered, really, to tap into the underlying motivations, the perceptions that actually drive how people behave. Like, a company doesn't just want to know if you like their new smart home gadget.
Uh-huh.
They want to understand your beliefs about fitting it into your life, your attitudes about its design, maybe even privacy concerns, and your opinions on how easy it is to actually use.
That makes sense. It's digging deeper.
And doing that exploration together in a group.
Mm.
That's often the secret sauce.
How so?
Well, it's not just collecting individual answers in isolation.
Wrong.
It's about how those answers bounce off each other, how they build, maybe even how they clash a little in that shared space.
Ah, right, like a synergy.
Exactly. That group synergy often pulls out richer, more nuanced insights than just doing, say, a bunch of one-on-one interviews. Someone says something, and it sparks a thought in someone else.
And suddenly you get a deeper collective insight. Yeah, I could see that. That distinction really clicks, capturing these deep responses and context. But okay, where do focus groups actually, live in the big world of research?
Good question.
Our source puts them squarely under primary research methods. That sounds important. So for us, what does it actually mean for research to be primary? Why does that label matter?
It matters a lot. It's a fundamental distinction. So primary research refers to data collected firsthand, right then and there, specifically for the research questions you have right now.
Okay, so it's new data, original data.
Exactly. Original data. It hasn't been gathered before by anyone else for this specific project. Think of it like generating insights completely from scratch.
Yeah.
So when you run a focus group, you're directly asking people questions, guiding their chat, recording their fresh, spontaneous reactions. That's primary data collection in action.
Right, you're making the data happen.
You are. And that's the key difference from secondary research.
Which is?
Secondary research is using data that already exists. Someone else collected it, maybe for a different reason, and published it. Think like census data, academic papers, company reports, stats you find online.
Ah, okay. Stuff that's already out there.
Exactly. And secondary research is super valuable, don't get me wrong. It gives context, history, benchmarks. But it wasn't collected to answer your specific, immediate questions.
Gotcha.
Focus groups, though, They are all about generating those new, specific opinions directly from the people in the room. That makes them a classic example of a primary research method.
Tailored, fresh, direct makes perfect sense.
Addressing the researcher's immediate needs.
Okay, so focus groups, primary research, generating new insights directly. But the source also puts all this under a bigger umbrella, market research methods. And it gives us like 4 key terms: primary research, secondary research, quantitative data, qualitative data.
Right, the big categories.
We've tackled primary and secondary. So how do the other two, quantitative and qualitative data, fit in, especially when we're thinking about what focus groups actually give us?
Okay, yeah, this is where we really pinpoint the specific strength of focus groups. So think about data in 2 main flavors, quantitative and qualitative.
Okay.
Quantitative data is, well, it's about quantity, numbers.
Yeah.
Think of the speedometer in your car, how fast, how many miles.
Measurable stuff, facts, stats.
Exactly. It answers how many, how much, how often. So like a big survey asking 1,000 people to rate a product from 1 to 5, that generates quantitative data, numbers you can count and analyze statistically.
Right. Makes sense. So what's qualitative then?
Qualitative data. Okay, using the car analogy again. It's the feeling of the drive, the comfort of the seats, the sound of the engine, the smell of the air, maybe the conversation you're having. It's the rich, descriptive, subjective experience.
The why behind the drive, not just the numbers.
Precisely. It's descriptive info. It gives you deep insights into experiences, opinions, the reasons why, the motivations. It answers questions like why, how, or what do you feel about this?
And that's where focus groups come in.
Bingo. That is exactly where focus groups shine. They're designed to uncover that richness behind the numbers, the stories, the feelings, the subjective meanings people attach to things.
So if I'm cracking this, a focus group is like having that co-pilot telling you all about their experience of the drive rather than just reading out the trip computer stats.
That's a brilliant way to put it, yes. So the really crucial takeaway here, the kind of aha moment for you listening, is that focus groups are a classic method for collecting primary, qualitative data.
Okay. Primary because it's new, qualitative because it's descriptive, feeling-based.
You got it. They generate new, original insights that are rich in description, uncovering the depth, the nuance of how people think and feel. It's not about counting heads or votes. It's about understanding the why behind it all.
And that why must be incredibly valuable.
Oh, absolutely. That qualitative depth helps understand motivations, uncover needs people might not even know they have, grasp the emotional connection or lack thereof to different ideas. It's how innovation often starts, how marketing messages really land.
I love that phrase, uncover unspoken needs. That feels like where the magic happens, right?
Definitely.
It makes me wonder, though, are there specific times, specific scenarios where focus groups are like the absolute go-to method? When would someone say, yeah, we definitely need a focus group for this one?
That's a great question because, powerful as they aren't the answer to everything. They really excel. Particularly in the early stages of developing something new, or when you're trying to understand complex emotional reactions.
Like concept testing.
Exactly. Concept testing is a prime example. Let's say a company is thinking about a new type of sustainable packaging. Okay, quantitative data, like a survey, might tell them if people say they care about sustainability.
The what?
Right. But a focus group, that can uncover their actual beliefs about what sustainable even means to them. Are they willing to pay more? Are they skeptical about the company's claims? What are their gut emotional reactions to the look and feel of the packaging?
Wow. Okay, that's much deeper.
Totally. Another classic use case is exploring brand perception or testing advertising messages. A company might track brand awareness quantitatively, sure. But if they want to know why people see their brand as, say, old-fashioned, or how a new ad campaign actually makes people feel...
You need that qualitative discussion.
You really do. I remember being involved in a group once discussing a new smart home device. And the participants, they didn't just talk features. They really opened up, surprisingly, about their fears around privacy, like deep-seated anxieties.
And a survey probably would have captured that intensity?
Not easily. Not with that kind of emotional clarity. It just wouldn't likely come through in the same way.
That's a fantastic example of the nuance they can uncover, getting to the emotional core. But, okay, playing devil's advocate. Every research method has its downsides, right?
Absolutely. It's crucial to be aware of them.
If focus groups are so good at this deep stuff, what are the pitfalls? Where could they potentially lead a company down the wrong path?
Great point. This is where being informed really matters. While they're invaluable for depth, Focus groups definitely have limitations. One of the big ones people talk about is groupthink.
Ah, right, where everyone starts agreeing.
Yeah, exactly. In a group, you might get a really dominant personality or sometimes just a general vibe where people want to get along.
Right.
And that can lead participants to kind of conform to an opinion rather than saying what they truly think, especially if it's different.
So you might miss out on dissenting views.
You're right. People can be hesitant to be the odd one out. And there's something called social desirability bias, meaning people often want to look good, right? Present themselves positively. So they might give answers they think the moderator or the company wants to hear instead of their genuine, maybe less flattering beliefs.
Like saying you eat vegetables all the time.
Perfect example.
Mm.
Everyone might claim to love kale in a focus group about healthy eating, even if their fridge tells a very different story.
Okay. Groupthink, social desirability. What else?
Another key thing is sample size. Focus groups are small, usually like 6 to 10 people per group.
Right. Not thousands like a survey.
Exactly. So the findings are qualitative, they're illustrative, they give you depth, but they are not statistically generalizable. You can't run 2 focus groups and say 60% of all consumers feel this way.
Ah, okay. It tells you why this small group feels that way, but not how many people in the whole market feel that way.
Precisely. And this also ties into cost. Running focus groups properly, with good recruitment, incentives for participants, skilled moderators, it can get pretty expensive, especially if you need to run several groups to hear diverse perspectives.
That's a really critical point, the why versus the how many. And it sounds like having a really skilled moderator is absolutely essential to try and navigate those pitfalls like groupthink and getting people to be honest.
Oh, paramount. Absolutely critical.
What does it take? What makes a good focus group moderator?
It's a real skill. They're much more than just someone asking questions. They're a facilitator, a guide, sometimes even a bit of a detective.
How so?
A good moderator actively works to draw everyone in, gently manages those dominant personalities without shutting them down completely, and crucially, creates a safe, comfortable space where people feel okay sharing different opinions, even unpopular ones.
So they encourage diversity of thought.
Yes, and they know how to probe. To ask good, open-ended questions, listen really carefully not just to what's said, but maybe what isn't said, and gently challenge assumptions to get beneath the surface answers.
Sounds like an art form.
It really is.
Yeah.
And the environment matters too. It needs to be neutral, comfortable. Plus, screening participants carefully beforehand is vital. You want the right mix for your target audience, people who can articulate their thoughts, but maybe not so similar that they all agree immediately. It's a delicate balancing act.
Okay, this really solidifies it for me. Focus groups are about getting to the heart of things, the human story, the why. But you have to do it smartly, being aware of the potential traps and the importance of skillful moderation.
Exactly. Understanding both the power and the limitations.
So let's bring it back. What does all this mean for you, our listener? As you're out there being a consumer, maybe an employee, or just watching how things happen.
Yeah, what's the practical takeaway?
Well, for me, just understanding these terms, primary, secondary, qualitative, quantitative, and knowing how focus groups fit in, it makes you a much more savvy person, doesn't it?
I make up.
You're not just passively taking in products or ads. You can start to recognize the strategic thinking, the human-centered methods that likely went into shaping them. You see a new ad campaign or a new product design, and you might think, they probably ran some focus groups on this. They wanted to understand people's views, opinions, beliefs, attitudes before they launched.
Right, to see if it connected emotionally, not just logically.
Exactly. It gives you that shortcut to being more discerning, more aware of the intent behind the messages you see constantly, and maybe even appreciate the effort that goes into trying to understand what customers really need or want.
And that raises a really interesting point, I think. When you do see that new product or that ad, or even hear about policy changes sometimes, knowing that focus groups might have informed it, it lets you appreciate the human element, the intention behind its design.
Yeah, that they tried to understand people.
Right. You realize companies, organizations, they aren't always just guessing or purely relying on cold, hard numbers. They're actively trying to connect with you, the audience, on a deeper, more emotional level.
To find that resonance.
Exactly. It gives you real insight into how they strive to understand those deepest feelings, maybe uncover those needs people can't even quite articulate yet. It's not just about selling something. It's about making a connection. And focus groups are a key tool for that.
So it makes you a more critical, more informed participant in the whole marketplace, whether you're buying, selling, or just watching.
You understand the story behind the product, not just the product itself.
Wow. What an incredible journey, really, into the heart of this one market research tool. We started off defining focus groups, that dynamic way to capture views, opinions, beliefs, and attitudes.
From a specific group.
Then we placed them firmly in primary research, generating that fresh, original data.
Right, the firsthand stuff.
We unpacked those key distinctions between quantitative and qualitative data, highlighting how focus groups are really the classic example of collecting primary qualitative insights, the why.
Getting that depth and nuance.
And we looked at their unique strengths, concept testing, brand perception, but also balanced it with those critical limitations like groupthink, sample size, and the huge importance of good moderation.
Crucial context.
So hopefully you now feel like you have a fantastic shortcut to being really well informed about this key tool, understanding not just what it is, but why it matters, how it works, and how it shapes so much around you.
Yeah, it's powerful knowledge to have. And maybe as you go about your day, here's something to think about.
Okay.
Consider the last time you shared an opinion about, I don't know, a product, a service, maybe even just an idea you heard. Do you think your views, opinions, beliefs, and attitudes might have been part of someone's primary qualitative research? Maybe even potentially in a focus group somewhere.
Interesting thought.
And how does knowing about how these things work, both their strength in uncovering depth and their weaknesses, like potential bias, how does that change how you look at the products, the ads, even the political messages that surround you every day? What nuanced, maybe unarticulated need might you have that a well-run focus group could potentially uncover?
That is a truly thought-provoking question to end on, something to definitely mull over. Thank you for walking us through all that.
My pleasure. It's fascinating stuff.
It really is. And thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keeping curious.
Thanks to both of you for joining us today. You've been listening to the Business Gurus. Let's now hand it over to you. What further questions do you have based on what we've discussed so far? Leave a comment and we'll get back to you right away. If you haven't already, hit that follow for more business tips.